Hello and welcome everyone to the next episode on SAP DataSphere training with me Anubhav. In our demo session, we talked about the basics of what is SAP DataSphere, including a live demo in the system. We've discussed about creating a very simple table with the data upload from a CSV file, and then we created a graphical view for the customer, which is Walmart. And then we learned about how can we utilize the concept of data sphere to create an analytic model, and finally building a dashboard and a story. In our today's session, we are going to officially start with the basics, introduction of data sphere, its definition, and hopefully today we will learn how can you set up a free data sphere instance for yourself to be able to practice this training along with me. So before we move on, a bit of housekeeping stuff. I'm sure those who have subscribed for my training, we have provided you a training blog access, which looks like something like this. This training blog access is where you have all the videos available, the latest and greatest videos. The videos are keep on updating on timely basis with the latest features. So I would request you to please refer the portal for the latest content only. Do not refer to the outdated content. In the second tab here, we have the class schedule where you can find the link to join the regular classes. You can see it's a weekend batch, 7 to 9 a.m. IST. So now we have a class, and next weekend we also have a class, whereas you can hover your mouse on the appointment to see the link to join the class. These links are subjected to change. So kindly refer the calendar invite regularly to join the classes with the correct link. Third tab, we have the study material where you can go and get the latest study material about this training. Right now it is empty, but going forward, as in when I progress, I will upload, including today's session. You will see I'll upload the training material over here in the study material. The last section is batch info, where you can just see about the information on our batch, the start date, the timing, and everything. So that is about this training blog, which is a self access for your guide to the study material as well as the video recording, which are latest video recording of these DataSphere training. Having said that, let's get started. As some of you are coming from a non-SAP background, or for the first time you're experiencing a cloud software, I would like you to take you through this journey of what is the difference between cloud and on-premise. If you have any questions, kindly feel free to add them in the chat window. And when we have a logical close of a topic, I will pick up these questions from the chat window. Thank you. So let's talk about what is a cloud software versus what is a on-premise software. Traditionally, most of you who are working today in SAP field or SAP industry, you all are working with the on-premise softwares like SAP BW, SAP BW for HANA, SAP HANA, or SAP S4 HANA. So an on-premise software which you traditionally work with requires following to be implemented. So if your company wants to opt for an on-premise software, they need to purchase the hardware and software. DVD needs to be purchased. So your company need to buy the infrastructure, the servers, the hard disk, the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, the networking, everything your company needs to buy. They need to have a dedicated setup in a particular room which is provided by air conditioning, and then we need to set up the software on top of that hardware. The next thing, you need to set up the networking. So all the networking, operating system, software services, everything, it's your responsibility to be implemented before you start implementing your traditional ERP software. Then a license fee or a license needs to be purchased by paying a lump sum amount for multi-year. So once you purchase, there is no rollback. Like if your company implemented SAP HANA or SAP ECC or BW, there is no rollback. Your company is logged in with a multi-year contract with the vendor, with the SAP, to use that software. There is no option that you can tomorrow change this software very easily, because you have paid a license fee for 10-year, 20-year upfront. You need to hire professionals. In case of SAP, these are basis consultants, which are specialized consultants to manage this software, who will manage the security, the administration, the health of the system, the backup and recovery. They will be doing it. The upgrades and support packs needs to be updated by your team. So if you are implementing an on-prem software, whenever new feature, new upgrade comes, it is your duty to implement these upgrades, including testing. Very important. So after upgrade, you need to test your software yourself with your own data to make sure that upgrade was successful. There is of course some downtime when you upgrade. Many time you get email from your basis team that system is going to upgrade this weekend, and all the users will be logged, and you will not be allowed to work with the system. So there is a downtime in these cases. Next, we have initial investment, or so called TCO, is very high. So total cost of ownership of such a softwares are very, very high, because there is an infrastructure cost and there is an upfront implementation cost involved. Scalability is hard to achieve. So in the lockdown, companies have gone from 50 employee to 5,000 or 50,000 employees. It was hard for them to achieve scalability with on-premise software, because the software come with a limited capability of hardware, and you cannot just say if you have one user to 100 users suddenly, you cannot say that you just want, like 10 GB RAM you can attach. You cannot. You need to buy the whole set of hardware to attach to scale your system. So scalability is hard to achieve. It's not impossible, but hard, as you need to procure new hardware, plug new hardware as a distributed system, configure the same. There is a lot of configuration required to achieve the scalability. It's not plug and play to scale your software. The example of on-premise softwares are SAP BW, SAP BW for HANA, SAP ECC. In context of SAP, if I talk about S4 HANA, Bob J Business Objects, yes, SAP HANA OP on premise. Then we have like Outlook. It's a simple way you can understand Outlook. Everybody use in a company. It's also a on premise software where you need to install Outlook in your computers. Your company need to buy mail servers. There is a mail room and people who are managing the mail servers in your company. So these are the on-premise softwares which we are tend to use since many years by far. But way back in 2009, there is a new wave came, and the wave was called as software as a service, or so called SaaS. Yes. So which are actually known as cloud-based systems. So computing powers have become cheaper and cheaper, which allowed companies to host applications and servers over the internet without much without much cost. And that has given a birth to a whole new software industry. It was a transformation in that industry, and it's called cloud-based softwares, cloud solutions. So a cloud solution needs following, or I would say not need or need following, when it comes to cloud-based application and cloud-based softwares. So in this case, the customer do not need to buy any hardware. The hardware will be set up by vendor. Yes. So it is the vendor who owns the hardware. So vendor will invest billions of dollars upfront to set up this hardware and give you this and install their software on top of this hardware. So you are as a customer not purchasing any hardware. you are upfront not doing any investment. You are going to consume, we consume just software as a service, or so called SaaS. That's what we do. Case you consume software as a service. So you will not be buying upfront any hardware. You will just have the direct software access as a service. Now, there is no installation needed in your company. Hence, there is no need to hire basis professionals also who will manage hardware, who will manage security, who will manage networking. Bye bye to all that. You just have a software which you can access directly. Yes. So you don't need to hire security experts, network experts, hardware experts, basis professionals. No need to do that. It's a cloud based software. The complete upgrade and hot fixes. Hot fixes is like patches. Yeah. Bug fixes in a software is the responsibility of vendor. The vendor who is giving you the service, it is their responsibility to upgrade the software, to test the software. So all that responsibility go away from you. You just start using your software. Yes, we use subscription model where we pay per user or per month. So you pay a subscription fee per user per month to use that software. You do not engage yourself in a long term license of 10 year or 20 year. This is basically a subscription model where you pay per month, pay per use. Scalability is easy to achieve. So today my company have 20 employee, tomorrow I have 2000 employee. I can just go to vendor and say, hey, can you increase my RAM size to from 10 GB to 100 petabyte? Vendor will do it just within 5 to 10 seconds. So it is very easy to achieve scalability in a software solution. You have faster innovation cycle. In a on-premise software, your upgrades are applied typically 3 months or 6 months, whereas in a cloud-based software, the upgrades can be applied as fast as every 4 hour. Yes, every 4 hour you can have new features. Every month, every week you can have new features available. It's a faster innovation cycle. It's a faster adoption of software. You do not, the time is gone when you got to wait for years and years for implementation of a BW system in your company. The time is gone, guys. Customer want instant value, and that's where the cloud gives the instant value to the customers. It is also lower TCO, lower total cost of ownership, so lower upfront investment. That is the benefit of cloud software. Example of cloud software, some of the very known example like Gmail. What is Gmail? You don't have to set up any server. You don't have to set up any in network or any software in your company to use Gmail. Yes, it is as fast as just open the browser and access the Gmail. Yes. So as compared to Outlook, if you look at Gmail is a software as a service. Netflix. The time is gone when you used to buy DVD players, the infrastructure. The time is gone when you used to buy the DVDs on a rent to watch movies. You open Netflix, take a subscription with 100 rupees per month, or like $5, $10 a month, and then you can access the latest and greatest shows, TVs, movies, everything on the Netflix platform. And you pay per use or pay per month. Yes, that's a subscription model. That's exact example of a cloud-based solution. Uber, Ola, yes, Swiggy, Zomato, where you order the food, all these are software as a service. You don't got to manage the entire infrastructure by yourself. You're just consuming the software over the internet. Yes, it's a cloud-based software. We also have SAP S4 HANA Cloud, and now you have SAP DataSphere. Yes, that is also a software as a service, my friends. It is basically a cloud-based application which you use. If you heard about SAP Analytics Cloud, That is also software as a service. So the very first thing, if your manager asks you, what is DataSphere? DataSphere is a software as a service. What is the implementation time? Literally, literally zero. So the time is gone when you buy a hardware, set up everything, have basis people, have networking, have network administrator, blah 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 blah, and then it takes 5 year, 10 year to use that software. You are living in a world of cloud. So where you just decide to use DataSphere or data warehouse in the cloud, and very next day you have it live. Yes, it is as fast and as easy as possible. So this is how the cloud-based software works. So very first thing which we get from this slide is SAP DataSphere, SAP Analytic Cloud. These are cloud-based softwares. These are software as a services, which means you are not going to pay the lump sum fee. You're going to pay a subscription fee every month or every quarter or every year. Yes, and then you have a choice of movement. You can decide today to ditch DataSphere and use something else in the future. Yes, instead of DataSphere. So that's the cloud mindset. Yes. Companies like Salesforce.com, Ariba, Concur, they have changed the way we look at and consume the software. Okay. Now, what are the different things does the cloud offer? So cloud offers many different things. Yes. So cloud, you can also see here we have put in some notes for you as part of the notes section. So cloud helps you to achieve scalability, reduce the capital expenditure, it increases the accessibility and data security. So these are the benefits of the cloud. You can also read if you want this additional material kept in the PPT. But in total, what does the cloud offer? There are three types of offering cloud offers to us. The first offering is called infrastructure as a service, IaaS. The second is called platform as a service, PaaS. The third one is called software as a service. So these are the broad three things the cloud offer. Infrastructure as a service. Suppose I have a great idea, I want to do a startup, and to do a startup, I want to go into machine learning or AI field. And if I want to go an AI field, I need very high computing power to to use my AI field. Very, very high computing power is what I need. Yes. So we have the infrastructure as a service. Whereas I can go ahead and I can go to some company and say, hey, I don't want to go to some market and buy 10 gigabyte of RAM and 20 megahertz of CPU. Do you have such a computer already readily available for me, which I can just consume and I can have it? So they say, yes, we do have. What is the configuration you need? We can do it for you. And you just pay us $10 a month for that computer and use it over the internet. Wow, that's amazing. That's exactly called infrastructure as a service, IaaS, where you use the infrastructure provided by the vendor. And then on top of it, you can do whatever you want. You can run websites, you can run web servers, you can install softwares on this computer. You have full admin rights. So here we have Amazon. If you heard about AWS, we have Microsoft Azure. Yes. We have Google Cloud, GC. Yes. We also have Alibaba Cloud, where most of the Chinese companies are hosting their applications like WeChat, Bimbo, all these Chinese search engines. They're all hosted on Alibaba Cloud. So that is one option you have for infrastructure as a service. Then on top, we have the platform as a service, PaaS. So now let's imagine beyond the just the computing power, you also want to build a software. To build a software, what are all you need? You need databases, you need tools, you need services, you need lifecycle management, you need application infrastructure, you need programming runtime, you need the the source code repository, version control. Imagine if somebody also give you this offer. So if you're a development company like TCS, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, Accenture, Deloitte, you are building softwares and you need an infrastructure to build your softwares on the cloud. So you need a platform which allows you to offer every aspect of building an application. So that's where we have platform as a service. There are many vendors like ECO2. Amazon also offer the similar services for platform where they give you pre-configured machine to get started with development. We have then companies like Ocean Cloud or DigitalOcean, where you can buy a computing unit to develop application just as cheaper as $5 a month. Then you have Cloud9. Yes, we have uh, Sesame. Many of them are there. Similarly, SAP also have one. It's called SAP BTP, also known as Business Technology Platform. Yeah, BTP or Business Technology Platform, in short, BTP. So SAP offers a platform for companies who would like to build their own software on top of cloud. If you want to learn BTP and you are a hardcore developer who love coding, then you can join my BTP course, which is available on anubhavtrainings.com, where we learn end-to-end BTP development with programming languages like Java and Node.js and frameworks like Kapam and RAP. So you can build your own applications. This is mainly a developer's training. If you are interested, you can join that on anubhavtrainings.com. But in this training, we will just cover basic introduction for BTP. There is a separate training for BTP development which you can join, which is a developer's course. Now, coming to software as a service, these are actual final application which somebody would use. Yes, let's say you build an application to book a cab, book a taxi. Now, that application is hosted on top of IaaS, PaaS, and that is your application, mobile application, which is allowing people to book the taxi and cabs, right? So that's a software as a service. That's a software as a service. Software as a service. So this is what is called software as a service. These are the final application built on top of the platform. Built on top of the platform, software as a service, which is built on top of the platform. Yes. So these are the application which you use. So what is actually example of the software as a service? SAP DataSphere, SAP Analytics Cloud. So these are all the applications which are already built by SAP and they are hosted on top of BTP. So next interview question, where is the SAP DataSphere hosted? If somebody asks you in interview, the answer is SAP DataSphere is a software as a service which is running on top of SAP's BTP platform. SAP's BTP platform, Business Technology Platform. This is the platform which provides the environment to run your your DataSphere tenant. So this is where SAP DataSphere runs behind the scene. And behind the scene, there is an infrastructure from Amazon, Azure, or GCP. Now the question is, can I see this actually somewhere that BTP offer a service called DataSphere? Can I see that? Yes, you can. Yes, you can definitely do that. So for that, I need to take you to the introduction to BTP. So what is BTP? So in short, you just understood BTP is a platform. But why do we need BTP? Why would a company need BTP? Think about it. So in order to start developing applications in any company, the company would need infrastructure to develop an application. So SAP BTP is a platform as a service offered by SAP. So it is owned by SAP for developers and development teams. So development teams could be any company. If they want to develop their own application and they are looking forward for a platform where they can do that, SAP BTP is here. You can take SAP BTP subscription to do that. It offers tools, services, runtimes, databases, technology, lifecycle, continuous innovation, continuous delivery, yes, logging, tracing, troubleshooting, connectivity, and many more services in order to allow companies like development companies and development teams to build SaaS applications. Wow. So if somebody asks an interview, now you have a definition to say about BTP. The platform itself runs on top of infrastructure as a service, which is provided by either Amazon, Google Cloud, or the Microsoft Azure. So you have first of all to choose a infrastructure provider, and on top of it, SAP will give you the BTP platform where you have all the features available. We can check the platform features and applications which are built on top of platform below. So there is something called SAP Service Discovery Center, which is where you can go and check. So let me go to Google and type SAP BTP Service Discovery. Yes, it takes me to this application, and you have services. I open that. I give this link in the PPT. This PPT will be shared with all of you as part of training material after the class. So if you go there, you can see these are the different services SAP offer in their platform. So as I told you, let's say you are a development team. So you would want a tool to develop applications. So there is a tool called Business Application Studio tool, which is offered as a service, you see. Similarly, there is a database called HANA Cloud Database, which is also offered as a service. Yes. Similarly, now you can also search a DataSphere. Wow, look at this. You see, SAP Analytic Cloud, SAP DataSphere, new. So these are also the services offered by SAP on top of BTP. These are direct applications, yeah, which are built on top of BTP. So here itself you can check the cost of DataSphere and data centers where it is available. So somebody asked me a question at the beginning of today's class in the chat, Anubhav, how do I know what is the cost of DataSphere for my company? What is the cost of subscribing to this service? So you can check it here itself in this discovery center, including the data centers where it is available. So if you come inside, you see a brief architecture diagram, a short note about what is DataSphere. Yes, the features, what it offers, including the pricing. So you have different plans. One is called Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement Plans, KEPA. Then pay as you go plan. You want to pay per use. You can take subscription plan. These are the different plans to choose for DataSphere. Now, when you come down, you can also find the available regions where it is available. So you see at the moment DataSphere is only available with AWS and Azure. It is not available with Google Cloud as an infrastructure provider. So I told you the infrastructure provider list. Yes. So at the moment only AWS and Azure is supported to run your DataSphere tenant. You only can choose these are the data infrastructure providers, and these are the data centers where your data will be kept. Suppose you are working in Netherlands or you are working in Germany. Yes, in this situation, you are also need to abide by the country's law. So European Union have a law called GDPR, Global Data Privacy and Protection Law. According to that, any software which you use in Europe, the data of that software has to live within the European data center. So in this situation, you don't have a choice. If you're working from Netherlands or you're working from, let's say, any of the European country, you have these are the options for your data center to choose. Of course, you can't go choose Singapore because you are a European company and you cannot, you are according to the government law, you are not allowed to choose any other data centers. Yeah. So you can see Netherlands, they also have for Azure, and they also have for US West for Azure. So you will first choose the infrastructure provider, then you choose where will your data kept for your data sphere, which is the region. So that is what something which SAP will ask you at the beginning. Then on top, you can see the pricing plan. It is €1 per unit. So per unit, it's a block size of, let's say, 10 GB or 100 GB. If you want 100 GB storage, then it will be €1 per month you pay per use. Yeah. So if you want 200 GB, then €2 per month. Like that, you will decide to choose how much you want to pay. So you can also go to calculator and you can see for this particular service, what is the cost. So you see 1/4 of terabyte, 256 GB, 120 GB RAM, 124 GB and 480 RAM. So you can here choose how much storage you want for DataSphere. Suppose I want 8 blocks, which is 2000 GB of storage I want. Yes. How much compute unit, how much speed you want, what is the number of BW bridge you want to configure. Yes. I'll tell you about what is BW bridge later on. Do you want data lake for moving massive data barges? Yes. You want data integration services? Yes. So you will decide what is that you want. So based on these settings, it will calculate total compute unit and how much duration you want. 1 hour, 24 hour, 3 months, 6 months. You see, you can take a DataSphere tenant for 1 hour also, just for trial purpose. 24 hour also you can take. Wow. Remember the Netflix subscription? You will take subscription depending on how much you want to use. And then you can just go ahead and proceed to look at. So you can choose Azure or AWS. So this is the certification question. Which are the data centers currently supported? The infrastructure providers supported for DataSphere? Only AWS and Azure is supported at the moment. So then you can just see what is the total compute unit you have. So you see estimation is this, per month is this much will be your uses, pay per use. So after you decide this, accordingly the configuration will be selected and you will be paying for according to this configuration. So it says it's 730 hour per month will be seems like your uses. So you pay per hour or pay per uses. SAP will decide the cost accordingly. So this is what SAP will ask you to do an exercise to find out what is your configuration, or they will sit with you and their agent will ask you these questions. You get to specify, and that's how the company will help you. So this is how exactly we can get to know. There is also a free tier available. I will also teach you the free tier later on. This is mainly for single developer with all the admin access, because in this training we will cover some admin features. At that time we may need to take a free tier also. So I will also teach you this later on, not today, but this is how exactly you can choose the plan which you want to opt for. So that is where you can go and check the services offered by BTP. One such service is a DataSphere service. Same you can do for Analytic Cloud, for ABAP instance into the cloud. There are different services. Large variety of services are offered by SAP when it comes to their BTP platform. So long story short, SAP DataSphere is a software as a service running on top of SAP BTP platform. You can go to BTP platform services list and there you can find out how much is the cost you're going to pay to use that BTP platform. Makes sense. Okay, moving on. Let's now we understand what is SAP BTP and their data centers. So long story short, SAP DataSphere and SAP Analytic Cloud, they are two different products, are separate software as a service hosted on top of SAP BTP platform. So the underlying infrastructure is BTP. Like if you use BW system, BW is basically hosted on top of SAP's technical platform called NetWeaver. If you heard about SAP NetWeaver, SAP NetWeaver is the foundation for SAP applications. Similarly, for SAP DataSphere, SAP Analytic Cloud, the foundation here is SAP BTP platform. It runs on top of BTP platform. Behind the scenes, the is stored data is stored inside the data. So all the data is stored inside the HANA cloud system. So all your BTP data is stored inside the HANA cloud system. Yeah, that is what it is done. Yes, that is what being done. So all the data is stored in the HANA cloud system. What is HANA cloud? It's a database as a service on top of BTP. So BTP offer wide variety of service. One such service is SAP DataSphere. Where will when you load data in DataSphere is just a tool. DataSphere itself use some database behind the scene. So what is the database it use behind the scene? It is the HANA cloud database it use behind the scene. So that is where the data is getting stored. So don't worry, when we go to the system, when we go to live system, I will be showing you how to exactly use SAP HANA Cloud System to experience where is your data getting stored. There is a concept of HDI and there is a concept of HANA schema. All of that I will be teaching you in our regular classes and as and when you progress. But more or less, the long story short, is the BTP is the infrastructure, the platform on top of it. The data sphere is hosted for you. Okay, so where does the data warehouse fits into the broad picture of a company? So I want to use SAP DataSphere. So where does a company, where is my company use DataSphere? Where? How? Yes. So basically think about an example. A big company, let's say Walmart. Walmart is one of the biggest retail giant. Yes. They have stores across different regions, different states of US. Yes. Let's say they have a store in Miami. They have a store in Santa Clara. They have in New York City. Yes. They have maybe the store in New York City, they have in Miami, Santa Clara, maybe they have it in Kings County. Yes, different places they have the stores. Now, typically, the companies use ERP system like SAP ECC or these days SAP S4 HANA to basically write their transaction in a centralized ERP system. So ERP system integrates all the department of the company across all the regions. So all their transactions, whatever they are happening over the ERP system. So when you go to Walmart store and you purchase something, the invoices are getting stored in the ERP system. These are called online transactional processing system, OLTP, online transactional processing system, which are optimized for day-to-day transactions. Now, similarly, think about your big company. You have a lot of other softwares. You have SAP ERP, then you have Oracle ERP, you have let's say salesforce.com, yeah, salesforce.com, you have Ariba, you have Concur, you have Workday for HR management. So you have many softwares in your company which you typically use in your company, and all the data is stored in different ERP and these systems. Now, data is considered as gold. Yes, you might hear this term called data is new gold. So what is our data? It is a gold actually. Why it is gold? Because based on this massive data stored in these systems, you can derive some fruitful outcomes for your future decisions. So if you want to take future decisions, see, I was failed in 7th standard in English subject. Yes. So in 8th standard, my parents have put me in extra English tuitions. Why they did put me in English tuitions? Because of the past experience. Because in the 7th standard, my marks was very less in English. So they thought the child would need help to improve his English, right? So that is the past experience. So similarly happen in companies. Companies will look at the past experiences. They will look at the past data. For example, if I'm a Walmart, I would say how many laptops were sold during Christmas days, how many iPhones were sold on my stores during Thanksgiving days. So depending on this past data, past experience, I will decide what would be my future, what would I look at, what would be my goal for future, how much inventory of iPhones I need to have on next Thanksgiving days, right? So based on the past data, we do a lot of analysis. But the problem is the data is distributed across OLTP system, different ERP systems. So what is a data warehouse? Data warehouse or business data warehouse or enterprise data warehouse, all these are same things, is a system used for bringing all the data together and building on top of this data the models, so that we can do reporting and data analysis and data mining. So that is what a data warehouse does. So a data warehouse or a business warehouse is a large volume of data system. So data warehouse, we call it as, or business warehouse, yeah, BW in short, is a system which is used to bring data from different sources and combine this data together in a large centralized system. This system is read optimized. So transactional systems are write optimized. They are they are predominantly used to write data faster, whereas the data warehouse systems are read optimized to read data faster. Yes. So you will bring all this data from different sources to a data warehouse system or business warehouse system. So this process is known as ETL. ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. So you do a lot of ETL activities. In this training also, I will show you data replication flows, which is part of your training, where we basically do a ETL. So there are wide variety of data sources you connect to, and you bring this data together in a single system, which is a humongous data source. It's a source of data, humongous, and this is the central source of truth about your data, where data is fetched from different systems and loaded in a centralized store. Yes. So this is a large, humongous source of data of from different systems combined together for data analysis, data reporting, and data mining, including data lineage, data federation, and lot about all about data. Now this is where we have SAP DataSphere used. So SAP DataSphere is a product which is a cloud product, cloud data warehouse system, which means it runs on the internet. Yeah, in say layman way, if you say it runs on the internet, it doesn't run like a traditional BW. So it is a BW system which is running in the cloud. So DataSphere is basically brings in data from different sources, connect to wide variety of SAP, non-SAP, on-premise and cloud sources, bring whole of this humongous volume of data, store it at a center place. Yes, to do, and then you do on top of it data lineage, data governance, data control, data security, data provider, data modeling on data. So a lot of these activities you will learn in this training. We will do it all over here on this data warehouse system. That is what we will be doing as part of our training. So you will learn a lot of these things, how to manage this business data warehouse in the cloud, which is DataSphere. Yes. So these are the different things. You can get it from big data query, S4 HANA, ECC, you know, HANA cloud, different flat files. Yes, flat files is another source. So we will, as and when you progress, you will learn actually this whole piece of thing. Now on top of it, what do you do? The data is distributed amongst multiple tables. Yeah, multiple database tables. So data is stored in tables. So you have data in multiple database tables. So what you do, it doesn't make a relationship, it doesn't make a sense to read these individual tables. So you make relationship between them. And this process is known as data modeling. Data modeling. So data modeling is a process which allows you to combine various data stored across different database tables. Some tables are persisted in the data sphere. Yeah, some tables are stored within the data sphere, but some tables are remote tables. You can also use remote table. You can use replications. You can use a lot of different objects to combine this, and this process is known as modeling. So there are two types of modeling: data modeling and business modeling. I will be teaching both as part of this training. So you will, second thing which you will predominantly learn in this training is modeling, where you will learn technical perspective of data modeling, and you learn business perspective of data modeling, the actually data builder and business builder. We will be learning both of it as part of our training. So we will look at different perspective of uses in terms of people who use and combine this data. Yes, that's what we will learn. Yes. So this is what we will be learning as part of our course as well in this training. Now, once the data is stored and modeled, we build data cubes, different data cubes. So like in analytics, in DataSphere, we will call it as building business models or cementing models. Yes, different types of business models are there. I'll be teaching all of that. So once it is done, then you consume this data. So the most important consumer these days is SAP Analytic Cloud, but of course there are a lot of consumers. You can use Microsoft Power BI if you heard about. It's a consumer of data. Then you can have the after Microsoft Power BI, you can use Salesforce Tableau. You can use SAP Analytics Cloud also. That is also another consumer of this data. So these are reporting tools which reports the data by looking at your data models which you built, the business models which you built. You will then consume these business models in the from the DataSphere in these tools. So any of these tools you can use. So since we are in context working in context of SAP, I am mainly associated with SAP since last 18 years. I'm working in SAP specific technologies. We will be focusing on analytics cloud. However, I'll give you guidance in case somebody is interested to consume this data in Excel file or Power BI, how to connect Power BI. I can also give you the guidance in this training where you can follow. If you have a Power BI system in your company, you can also do this integration of DataSphere with Power BI. So DataSphere can give data to any data sources. There are wide variety of data sources. It also offers APIs. Through the APIs, you can access from third-party software. Let's say you're building a Java application or you're building a .NET application. You can also use these APIs to integrate with DataSphere as a third-party software. So that is something which is also possible when it comes to DataSphere. So now you understand in the big picture of an organization where exactly SAP DataSphere fits into the picture. Yes. So any questions till now? Anyone? Please feel free to ask if you have any questions till now in the purview of what is cloud versus on-premise, what is cloud offer, what is BTP, and where does SAP data warehouse or DataSphere fits into the big picture of a company. Any questions? Easy? Okay, so no questions, then let's proceed further. So let me check chat window also. Don't find New Zealand customer need to choose Australia. Yes. So if you don't find a data center like New Zealand, so what Netherlands or New Zealand, what you can do is you can choose the nearest data center. So if you have New Zealand, then you can choose the Australia data center, which is very close to New Zealand. So wherever you have do not have a data center available, if you look at the BTP, you do not have a data center available, then you can use the corresponding nearest data center. Like in, you don't have India data center there. I just saw India was also in Mumbai, Delhi was not there. So for me, the nearest data center is Singapore. I will go with Singapore. Yes. So that is what you will choose at the time of setting up your system. So there's another questions we do. So won't be there any BW for HANA Cloud as SAP have launched the DataSphere? There may be, there may be hybrid installation where you will have also a, let's say, BW for HANA. Yes, here. But along with that, you also have DataSphere. Both you will have. So that strategy I will discuss once we reach to the next slide. I will discuss the strategy. So allow me to proceed so that I can explain you where does the BW for HANA and DataSphere together fits into the picture. So that also I'll explain you in the coming slide. Anubhav, BTP also required to learn? No. So for this training, you don't need to learn BTP. You just need to know what is BTP because our infrastructure is hosted or provided by BTP, right? Because we are running on top of BTP. So when you learn BW, you don't need to learn NetWeaver. NetWeaver is the platform. On top of it, BW is running. So you just learn BW. You don't learn NetWeaver. Similarly, in this case, BTP is the platform. On top of it, we are running the data. SAP is running DataSphere. So we don't need to learn BTP end to end. But some features of BTP like HANA Cloud, yes, those basic things I will be teaching as part of our training. So you don't need to be an expert on BTP for that. If you are interested, yes, we have a development course on BTP. You can go ahead and subscribe that training if you are interested separately, but not needed for this training. Not needed for this training. Is this product still evolving or can we already go live? You can go live. The product has already evolved a lot. I will show you the history of Datasphere in few minutes, where you will understand that it is not a new tool. It was already released way back in 2015. Yes, it is existing since 2015, guys, and it was named as SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, DWC. But recently in 2023 decade, in the decade they've announced the rebranding of Data Warehouse Cloud to SAP Datasphere. So SAP Datasphere is already there with a different name called SAP Data Warehouse Cloud previously. Since many years it was there. But now SAP rebranded it. They've done the rebranding, and that is called SAP Datasphere. Okay, SAP Datasphere. So is the certification also released? I need to check for certification and the certification code and guidance. Maybe once we progress more in our training, I will give you the guidance and I will show you if there is already a certification for this. I hope it is there. Yes, I will also give you the guidance if it is there for this certification exam of this training. So let's take a 5-minute break here, and on the other side of the break we will learn about the data sphere topic more in detail. So I'll be back after 5 minutes. My line will be muted and we'll join back. You all can take a break and then we'll come back after the 5. All right, everyone, let's get started. Welcome back after the break. So now we can proceed further to discuss about the next topic, which is what is HANA and what is BW for HANA. So as you can see, HANA stands for high performance analytic appliance. It is an in-memory database provided by SAP. So it's an in-memory database provided by SAP. So what is the in-memory database and how this in-memory database is different from a traditional database? So what actually happens when you use traditional databases or database management system? Usually we have something like, first we have basically CPU, then we have the RAM, and finally we have the hard disk drive. So all the data is sent from hard disk to the RAM, from the RAM to CPU, and this is where the calculation happens. But the problem is the hard disk drives are not as fast as RAM, but they are cheaper, and that's why we use them in a software architecture. So data will move from hard disk to the RAM. This will take a lot of time. So what SAP done is SAP come up with a new concept called in-memory database, where they say we no more need to keep data in hard disk, we can keep the data in the RAM. So this is called in-memory database. Then you say, what about the power? If power goes away, what will happen? So we have a lot of powerful backup systems for power these days, which keep on giving a uninterruptible power supply. In addition to that, you can take a backup of the data in the hard disk. So hard disk is still there. We are not removing it, but we just take a backup of the data. Yet we keep all the data in the RAM, which is also known as hot store. So this is the core concept of HANA. This is possible because of drastic reduction in the memory prices over the period of time. So over the time, there is a drastic reduction in the price of a memory. That is the advantage of using the RAM. So there is a reduction in the memory price, and also there is a technological advancement where companies were able to fabricate multi-core CPU. So when you these days buy smartphone, you see octa-core processor, quad-core processor. Yes, what does it mean? One core of CPU have 4 cores. One CPU blade have 4 cores. These are called multi-core CPU. It does massive parallel processing. It does massive parallel processing. That is what we do when it comes to SAP HANA. SAP HANA. So this is called high performance analytic appliance. Now, what is BW for HANA? So BW for HANA is a on-premise data warehouse solution which is natively designed to run on HANA database. So this only and only runs on HANA database. It's a data warehouse solution which only and only runs on HANA database. That is what BW for HANA is. So what is the brief history about this BW, BW on HANA and BW for HANA? All three are different. So let's understand that. So way back in 2012, SAP had this product called SAP BW 7.3 powered by HANA. This was also known as Project Orange. That was the name of this project. It was basically any BW system, which is a SAP BW system, is capable to run on HANA database. It is capable to run, but it doesn't mean that you must run. Companies were using BW on top of Oracle, SQL Server, MaxDB, or any other databases. Yes, that is what companies were using. So this is what was the performance optimization SAP introduced, but it was not that great performance because the solution was still designed to be run on any traditional RDBMS system, which is not in memory databases. So SAP tried to bring in the performance improvement. It got some to some extent, but not up to the level where it's supposed to be. Then 2013, they also introduced SAP BW 7.4, again powered by HANA, where you can run this BW system on Oracle, on MySQL, SQL Server, MaxDB, but also on HANA. So HANA was just one of the option to run your BW system on top of HANA. Here they have got something called virtualization, which means it is also possible to virtualize your system, which means it is possible to run partially your system on a infrastructure provided by Amazon or on a different cloud system and partially on the on-premise system. Whereas you have SAP HANA still as a preferred database, but again you have a choice of database of your own. They've also suggested customers some guidelines to follow in order to improve performance. Then they come with SAP BW 7.5. This is still the BW era where you can run on any database. Yes, any database. So here they allowed integration with HANA platform. So you can also integrate your BW system from another HANA database like S4 HANA database, where you can fetch, load data and integrate data from this BW system to another HANA database system and big data scenarios also. Along with this, SAP suggested to also run BW starter system, BW for HANA starter system, which was offered as an add-on. So what is BW for HANA? So in BW for HANA, you can see HANA is made as part of the name itself. Yes, this is part of the name itself. So earlier it was not part of the name. It was powered by means you have option to choose Oracle, non-Oracle, or you have option to choose HANA or non-HANA also. But when you say BW for HANA, in this situation there is no choice of database. You have to mandatorily use HANA database. There is no option. Yes, this was only for the customers who were using BW 7.5. They can run it as an add-on functionality to experience. You see, starter system means to experience the first hand information of BW for HANA, which was a new product altogether. It also offered lightweight tools to migrate your data from old BW system to BW for HANA. It also comes up with the BW 7.5 support pack on support pack 4 and higher, where you can integrate your existing BW system with this new BW for HANA product in a hybrid mode, which means both can run parallelly. Yes, but of course, why would a customer in long run two system parallelly and maintain them? They don't want to, right? So then SAP said that going forward, you have the main system as BW for HANA. This has become in 2016 the main product, and they've stopped the investment in the old BW product. It is still going to be maintained for some more years, but in a longer year, by 2029, the support for BW will permanently end. And if you want a on-premise BW system, you have to choose BW for HANA only. That is the only option you have. So they call it as next generation data warehouse system. built for cloud and on-premise. It also offers logical data warehousing. It offers IoT, Internet of Things scenarios. It integrates with big data query like Hadoop and all. So in this situation, the only and only database choice you have is the HANA database. You cannot choose any other database at all. At all. There is no other choice. There is no other choice. Yeah. So this is the evolution of BW, the on-premise world I'm talking about, how the BW evolved. So then came 2016, they come up with SAP Data Warehouse Cloud also together with this BW. You see, there is a cloud option. They are written. Yes, this cloud option. This was called as SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, but it was not very popular. The product was not so mature. It took, literally 7 to 8 years to mature it. And in 2023, they did the rebranding and they renamed it as DataSphere. So that is the history of how the BW or SAP data warehouse solution evolved over a time. So now we have two different solutions at the moment. If a customer, let's say I am a customer like Colgate or Nestle or HUL, and I want to implement SAP BW. I go to SAP and say, hey, what are the options I have? SAP will give you two options. Option one, you can go with a BW for HANA on-premise implementation where you need to set up hardware, infrastructure, everything. Option two, you need to choose SAP DataSphere. SAP DataSphere you need to choose. So these are the two options SAP will offer you to choose from. So what is DataSphere? Also known as Data Warehouse Cloud. It was known as previous. So AKM is also called as in the past also known as Data Warehouse Cloud. So if you hear SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, it is actually the old name of DataSphere. DataSphere is the new name and this is the old name. When this name change happened, 2023 March is when this name change has happened. So don't get confused here. If sometime you hear your manager say, do you learn Data Warehouse Cloud? Yes, I did, which is now known as SAP DataSphere. So what is SAP DataSphere? Let's understand the term. SAP DataSphere is a next generation data warehouse cloud enabling a business data fabric. It offers a unified experience for data integration, data cataloging, semantic modeling, warehousing, federation, and virtualization. I will teach everything in this training. So you will understand every meaning of every term and things. Yes, that we will be doing. Then a comprehensive data service built on SAP BTP. Remember, SAP BTP is the platform on top of it. This service is built. It enables every data professional to deliver seamless, scalable access to mission critical data. So basically it will offer a seamless, scalable access of mission critical data. Data is the new gold for company, right? So this will, the main goal is to provide mission critical data from different data sources to a centralized data system, which is SAP DataSphere. It allows us to coverage data coming from SAP and third party on-premise and cloud environment into a single. So this is a single source of data, fully managed cloud environment to allow your organization to radically simplify your data warehouse landscape. So if your company, let's say you are a company and you are innovating. So your company would need some data in the cloud because you are planning to build a mobile application and that mobile application cannot access data from your traditional BW on-premise system. You have access problems. Yeah. So some part of your data you want to put it on the cloud, which anyone can access. Mobile application can also access. Yes. So in that case, you can go and run DataSphere and SAP BW for HANA together in a hybrid mode. In a hybrid mode. So I'll talk about strategies in the next slide. It was first introduced in 2019 and then name change happened in 2023 March. You see, in March 2023, they have rebranded it as DataSphere. Previously, it was known as SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. As utilizes generate vast amount of data, DataSphere provide benefits such as scalability. Remember the cloud benefit is scalability, cost saving, no upfront investment, accessibility, and data security. So it doesn't mean that your data is storing in the cloud doesn't secure. It is also secure. Utilities can adopt cloud only approach, a hybrid approach where only parts of the data warehouse move to the cloud or use BW Bridge to leverage their existing investment of BW for HANA. So someone asked me, Anubhav, what about my existing BW for HANA system? Will it discontinue? So basically there are different modes of operation. I will teach you the modes of operation. We can go with hybrid mode or a BW bridge mode. Both of this is part of our training. I will cover both of them. So you will understand what are the different ways to run. So on top of DataSphere, Analytic Cloud provide advanced analytics, planning, predictive capabilities to enable data-driven decision making. So then on top of DataSphere, you can, not mandatory, you can use Analytic Cloud along with DataSphere. So Analytic Cloud is a reporting tool which allows you to basically report your data taken from DataSphere. You can take live data from DataSphere and show it in Analytic Cloud with real-time business insights for different lines of businesses for top decision makers of the companies. So that is what Analytic Cloud will do to us. It is a reporting tool. It is a reporting tool. So next comes is what is exactly data warehouse benefit, DataSphere benefits, what it offers, how it is beneficial for a company. So it is a secure environment supporting diverse data application, needs including real-time analytics, governed data access, data catalog, and data science, which is machine learning. It offers spaces which are created and provisioned centrally to provide secure modeling environment for different departments or use cases. So it allows you different departments of your company to segregate their work. We can provide a good isolation with the help of spaces. We have a wide range of connections for SAP and non-SAP software and on-premise and the cloud softwares. So it is possible that you can go and connect with SAP and non-SAP softwares to load data inside the DataSphere. It has graphical low-code, no-code tools to support self-service modeling needs of business user. So this is a tool which can also be used by non-technical consultants who would like to do data modeling, where they can combine different data sources, whether it is a replicated source or whether it is a remote source like a remote table, and then we can build the business data model for data analysis and data mining. It is also include powerful built-in SQL and data flow editors for sophisticated modeling and transformation needs, along with support of third-party tools and other IDEs. So suppose you bring the data from a ERP system where the dates are in the format of DD, MM, YY, YY. Now it is important for you to store data in BW coming from different sources in a format of YYYY slash MM slash DD. So you can apply data transformation also, including sophisticated modeling capability where you want to apply different levels of aggregations, you want to add calculated KPIs, you want to do conditional formatting or restricted measures or build hierarchies. All of these things are possible with the help of DataSphere. An embedded data marketplace to consume external data products to create internal data products. So many times we also need to rely on external data sources like currency rates. So currencies are fluctuating every second. You would want to do some kind of accounting, you want to build some kind of dashboard report or some kind of reporting you are interested to do. And to be able to do that, you would need currency rates, which are stored maybe outside your DataSphere system. So it is possible to explore the data which are outside your DataSphere system and consume that external data products also in your company, like currency rates, exchange rates, prices of stocks or prices of cryptocurrencies. You can also bring in all of that kind of external data into your DataSphere, connect it with your internal data to make data products. It offers a user-friendly data matching environment to enrich existing dataset with external data coming from data marketplace, CSV upload or third party data source. So along with data modeling, you also have capabilities, intelligent capabilities wherein you can basically combine third party data sources with intelligent lookups. Suppose the data which is coming from an external system is in the small letter and data in your internal system is in capital letter. Now when you apply the join might fail, it may have problems. So you can actually also do intelligent lookups in the SAP DataSphere. This is also part of our training. We will be covering in detail. It offers catalog support, self-service discovery of data and analytic assets, glossaries and terms, and key performance indicator. So catalog is a very important point. Many times what we see that there is a requirement and we start developing it. After halfway through, we realize that a similar requirement was developed already by my colleague in my another team. I could have reused that and built on top of it, but I have redid everything. I reinvented the wheel. So I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that whenever we want to use something, we need to make sure that something of that sort already do not exist. We want to reuse and develop on top of it. So that's where we have data catalogs available, where you can look at the existing assets of your company. And if any of the assets can be reused, you definitely would like to do so. Yeah. So that is data cataloging. We have multi-dimensional modeling with powerful analytical capability and built-in data preview. So you can combine facts, dimensions, yes, all of these different things together and build data models. A graphical impact and lineage analysis to visualize data movements, transformation, and dependencies. Very important. Like in traditional BW, a where use list. Where is this model or this fact or this dimension is being used to find the data lineage, so that you can check the dependencies, and before you modify your data model, you can find the impact analysis of that. So that is something which is also provided by SAP DataSphere for graphical analysis of or data lineage, where your data movements have happened and transformation have happened. Cross space collaboration and sharing, centrally governed sources for joining with local files, external sources with support of low level security. So suppose you have data of your sales organization. It's a org data. At many instances, I would like to reuse this org data to do joins with other data sets. So in that case, this data, I can keep it in one space and share this data outside my space with a scope. Let's say only show sales organization related to EMEA. So I could do that. So I can apply data security, low level data security, and expose a controlled access of my centralized data to another spaces to consume. Let's say HR department wants to consume some portion of my org data. I could do that with the help of cross-space collaboration. Then reuse and migration of trusted and governed meta and data model residing in an on-premise warehouse system and SAP SQL data warehouse implementation. So you have done a lot of investment already on BW and BW for HANA. So now that information is already there in your on-premise system. You want to also leverage that information, how you build the metadata model in your existing BW system. So we can integrate with BW Bridge and we can fetch in this information right into DataSphere to reuse it. So also this we will be covering in our unit number 16 in this training. Seamless integration with Analytics Cloud, Excel, and also offering public OData API to support consumption by other client tools and apps. So this is also a great feature where SAP Analytics Cloud is a different product provided by SAP. It's a separate subscription and you can utilize DataSphere and Analytics Cloud hand to hand together to basically do reporting also. And reporting has been made very easy by SAP using SAP Analytics Cloud, which is again a low code, no code tool which allows business users, non-technical consultants to also do reporting. So broadly, if you look at, these are the main advantages or so-called feature sets which we will be utilizing as part of SAP DataSphere. So what is the difference between SAP Data Warehouse Cloud and SAP DataSphere? What is the main difference? So this picture actually simplifies a lot. So first difference, you know that SAP Data Warehouse Cloud is the old name of SAP DataSphere. So it was introduced way back in 2019, the Data Warehouse Cloud, and in 2023 March they have rebranded it to SAP DataSphere. But DataSphere is not just about bringing your data warehouse cloud in there. It is also about, there is another product provided by SAP. This product was named as SAP Data Intelligence Cloud, which was a product to perform machine learning scenarios in the cloud. SAP have combined some features of that. You see, there is an intersection. So SAP have brought in some more features from Data Intelligence Cloud. They've combined these two products together, and that's how they rebranded and reappeared it in TechEd 2023. They have announced it as a one of the biggest announcement of TechEd 2023 was SAP DataSphere. So it is evolving SAP Data Warehouse Cloud towards a business data fabric, wherein you can connect from large variety of external data sources which are non-SAP, and this will be your central source of truth of information and data for your company. So that is your SAP DataSphere. Yeah, this is how exactly we can visualize SAP DataSphere. So this slide summarizes everything in a short. Data warehouse cloud is the old name, DataSphere is the new name. Both are cloud products, but now there's nothing called data warehouse cloud. If you want to look at subscription for data warehouse cloud, you won't find it. Yes, because it is rebranded, renamed as DataSphere. Yes, and it has capability of data warehouse cloud plus data intelligence cloud together. So when you go to SAP BTP Service Center, if you search here data warehouse cloud, yeah, you can see it is named as SAP DataSphere only. So you can't find data warehouse cloud. So it is basically rebranding which is being done. So you will not find the old name. Yes. Yes, data intelligence cloud has been also removed, and the features they are migrating to the DataSphere itself. Yes, they're migrating the features to DataSphere itself. So you can go to this BTP service list, and I will put the link in the description, and you can also play this short video about introduction to what is DataSphere. Yes, that is what SAP offers. Okay, so you can see all the core capabilities of DataSphere right at the bottom, and of course you can go and check the pricing of SAP DataSphere also over there. So that is about DataSphere. Now, what about the statement of direction? Many of the customers and many of the companies are confused because SAP introduced this product. What about my existing systems? What will happen? Yes. What about the direction? What is if I'm a customer using SAP BW? I'm confused. I don't know what is the direction SAP is taking me to when they introduce DataSphere. Will it mean that it will discontinue my BW for HANA? Will it mean I can utilize both systems parallelly together for different kinds of use cases? So that is where we have the concept of statement of direction. So SAP BW for HANA. Safeguard your investment by retaining mature and complex on-premise system or move to private cloud in support with RISE with SAP. So SAP is saying if you have a BW for HANA system, you can either keep that on-premise system and keep maintaining it or utilize it, or you can move this to a private cloud. So let's say you go to Amazon and you take a private Amazon infrastructure system with let's say 100 petabyte storage, and then you can put this BW for HANA on top of that Amazon system. So you've gone in a private cloud, and there you have to take care of data governance and data security yourself and expose your data on the cloud. So they have a long-term commitment till 2040, which means BW for HANA is not going anywhere till until 2040. SAP has a promise and commitment to maintain and allow customers to use it, which means if you are planning to use BW for HANA today or already using it, it's not going anywhere. So BW for HANA remains a key solution for SAP's portfolio. You see the statement of direction. It remains a key solution for SAP portfolio and also will be improved with hybrid capabilities, which means SAP is not discontinuing it. They are continue to you can continue to use it, continue to build on top of it without any problem. Plus, on sidelines, you want to innovate. So parallelly, you can innovate. So on the other side, we have SAP DataSphere, where you can innovate with SAP's strategic target solution for all data warehousing use cases in line with our data to value portfolio strategy. So what is data to value portfolio strategy? Let's say you are a manufacturing company and you are manufacturing FMCG products, fast moving consumer goods products. So you have massive data in your BW for HANA system. This is where you have all your data. Now there's a requirement to build a customer mobile application. yes, which your customers will be using it, and show the customers the basically the ratings of different products you are offering in your company. Yes, ratings. So this will be a public mobile app, and this information is something which is not a very private information. You want to offer this information in public domain. So what you can do is you can use SAP Data Sphere, bring in some portion of your data from BW for HANA in DataSphere in the public cloud, and then expose this data out from this cloud system, and then build a application with any technology like Android, Angular, React, or Fiori to consume this information and show the rating to the customer for different products. Yes, so you can show the rating to the customer for different products, the sentiments, the customer. So what you've done, you are running both BW for HANA and DataSphere together in a hybrid environment, in a hybrid model. So it provides innovation to your company. So as you know that every company, it is extremely important to follow the innovation cycle. So SAP Data Warehouse provide unique innovation beyond the classic data warehousing, driving agility, business empowerment, and accelerate time to value. So if your requirement is to expose your data for new innovative solutions, you wanted to adopt innovation, you want to be early adopter of innovation, all of these benefits you would want to achieve, you have SAP DataSphere for you. SAP DataSphere can give you that capability. Yeah, that is what we can do. So what are the implementation strategy? This is very important. This slide summarizes a lot about the implementation strategy. So first implementation strategy is you can extend SAP BW for HANA landscape with the DataSphere. So let's say you already have SAP BW for HANA. You have your existing ERP solution from where data is copied or sent to BW. Now on top of it, you can run DataSphere where some portion of data you can replicate. Either you can copy the data to DataSphere or you can use remote table. Remote table means any existing table or data source or view you can consume as it is, and data will be loaded live from that connected system. And then you can do reporting on Analytic Cloud. This is one strategy where you can extend your existing on-premise solution with this cloud solution called DataSphere. So this is one strategy where customers are adopting. I think most of the customers are going with this strategy at the moment. The option two, where you don't want to continue in the future the BW for HANA, but you want to protect your investments, which you have done here. So in this case, you can move your entire BW metadata, the skeleton of your models, and the exact similar replica of those your models, your DSOs, your BACS queries, they will get replicated to DataSphere with the help of BW Bridge. So BW Bridge basically reads the metadata from your BW system, and it then replicates these metadata as data models, business models, semantic models in the DataSphere system. So you will then again consume the data in DataSphere, and using the BW Bridge, you will get the data over here. And then again, you can report using Analytic Cloud. This option, I think customers who are planning to discontinue completely from on-premise, those who are in very mature state, they will go with this option. Option number three, where a customer is doing complete greenfield implementation. Greenfield implementation is basically you do not have any data warehouse solution in the past, and you are now starting afresh. You never had BW, you never had BW for HANA, you don't have anything. You are a company who would like to start afresh with some data warehouse solution in the cloud, and you are evaluating different vendors. SAP is one of the vendor in this race. So you can use DataSphere as a cloud solution for your data warehousing needs directly. There is no BW in question at all. It means there is no past solution. So if you have already past solutions, then you have two options. If you don't have any past solution, you are a pure greenfield implementation where you want to build a data warehouse in the cloud. You can go with pure DataSphere. There is no BW in this diagram, as you can see. So these are the implementation strategies a customer can choose when it comes to using SAP DataSphere. Do you have infrastructure to cover BW Bridge? I will try to arrange the infrastructure to cover BW Bridge. Allow me some time. That topic is very towards the end of this training. So by that time, hopefully I will have the infrastructure to cover the BW bridge also. I'll try to cover. If not, at least I will show you video with the direction. Okay. So you can follow along. All right. So what is the architecture of SAP DataSphere? So this is the broad architecture overview. It is taken from the same BTP slide. Yes. So what is the architecture of SAP DataSphere product? So first at the bottom, you can see we have the data sources. You can connect to DataSphere from cloud sources, on-premise sources, or external APIs. Let's say there is a Microsoft Azure system where you have some data kept and they are offering some APIs for you to consume this data. So you can take any of these sources as data sources for your BW system. Then you start with integration, operation, manage, and use. So in the integration option, you can use existing business content offered by SAP and its partners. You have integration with in-memory database called HANA Cloud, where you can use in-memory HANA Cloud capabilities, including data lakes and virtual data access and replication. Then you have data marketplace, from where you can also take the data like currency exchange rates or other data set which is available on open market. You can also use replication flows and data flows to bring in the data from your external SAP systems and SAP data intelligence. Along with that, you can utilize the core features of SAP BTP platform. Then we have space management, where how do you operate the data sphere? So you have space management first of all, which allows a isolation of your departmental data across different departments. We have administration and security, where an administrator can manage the quotas, how much each department is allowed to store, allowed to manage, allowed to browse through the catalogs. And then we have the BW bridge to basically replicate the metadata from your existing BW system into the new world of DataSphere. Then you can manage catalogs, where you can publish your content to the fellow colleagues of within your team. If you build something interesting and important, you can basically publish it for other colleagues to look at and reuse that. Then we have business modeling service, where you can model your data models to be able to offer it for the consumption. On top, we also have data modeling services, where you can create new tables, replication flows, data flows, data jobs. A lot of these things you can do with the data modeling services. On top of it, we have SAP Analytic Cloud native integration. SAP Analytic Cloud native integration is what we have typically when it comes to consuming your data. This is where you can finally reuse your data, or you can do external consumption, where you can have tools like, for example, Microsoft Power BI or Salesforce Tableau, or even in Excel file, you can consume this data. So that is about our DataSphere architecture. Now, let's look at developer's view or the bird's eye view. How do you develop? When we go deep inside it, how do you actually develop? When you want to start using the solution, the DataSphere solution, what is the traditional approach a developer would take before developing, or in a way to develop the objects in DataSphere? So first of all, you have on-premise sources like S4HANA, BW for HANA, SAP BW, and ECC system. And then you can use additional data adapters to provision your data to DataSphere. You can see the DataSphere is offered on top of SAP BTP. So BTP is the platform, the underlying infrastructure. On top of it, DataSphere is offered. In fact, Analytics Cloud is also offered on top of BTP platform. So when you come to DataSphere, this is the logo of DataSphere, you can see. So when it comes to DataSphere, you start with catalog. So first you browse the catalog to look at if there is a requirement which you're trying to build. It's already built by somebody else in your team, which you can reuse. On top of it, you can browse the business content, the content offered by SAP or by SAP partners, where you have already followed industry best practices. So you can leverage and reuse and browse this content and download this content in your system, connect it with your own data sources, and then reuse it. You can go to open data marketplace, where you can browse the different data providers who are providing open data sources for you, like currency conversion or let's say exchange rates or product price or CPI data, core inflation data or stock prices, which you can reuse. Then you can configure your own data layer. In the data layer, you start building database tables, graphical views, SQL views. Basically, you create your data foundation. This is mainly for technical users, developers like you and me, who will build the data foundation for the company. This layer focuses more about building the data and it's the core information like org data, dimension data, fact data, configuring all the data in the system. You can leverage the APIs, you can reuse the sharing of data across spaces, and you can also have connectivity with third party tools. For example, Microsoft Azure can act like a third party tool, and then you can use data provisioning agents to migrate this data to SAP DataSphere. On top of it, you will do business layer modeling. This is where you will define business semantics. You will do marking of what is your measure, what is your dimension. You will configure hierarchies. You will create business semantics. Let's say a data type is a date data type, email data type, yes, or this data type is associated to a hierarchical model, which is a master data. So all these associations and business semantic modeling you will do in the business layer. This is predominantly used by business users for consumption point of view. And finally, you have the consumption where you can consume it both for analytic purpose as well as planning purpose. So SAP Analytic Cloud also offer planning proposition. So you can utilize the data to also do the planning. So this is how the layered approach, how are we going to develop our data models using SAP DataSphere. So a brief introduction about what is SAP Analytics Cloud. Let's talk about what is Analytics Cloud. So SAP Analytics Cloud, now you know, is also a software as a service provided by SAP, which offers the capability to do data reporting. It is also a software as a service provided by SAP to do data reporting. The main advantage of SAP Analytics Cloud is basically it is low code, no code. So it helps, it is an independent product from DataSphere. So it doesn't come along with DataSphere. So Analytic Cloud you have to buy separately, separate subscription. Yes. It helps companies to take informed and confident decisions powered by AI. So SAP Analytic Cloud also include a lot of powerful AI feature, artificial intelligence features, which we can use to take confident decision. So basically, to take the decision making, in the past it was done based on the past data, but now we can basically do confident decision making by doing insight in SAP Analytics Cloud. So it offers a lot of powerful machine learning capabilities along with capabilities for data wrangling to data modeling to some extent, not very powerful in data modeling, but to some extent. And then we can build different dashboards and stories and including analytical application. We can also turn insights to action. Suppose you are browsing a plant data and you finding that one of the raw material used in your manufacturing, its quantity is critically low. So you can immediately take an action to order the new or procure the material quickly from the another warehouse or another plant. So that is something which you can also do with the help of SAP Analytics Cloud. SAC enables intelligent enterprises by providing everyone intelligent enterprises to transform your data to insights by providing everyone a central place for data analysis using different choice of options. You can build dashboards, stories which are mobile ready, applications, or a digital boardroom experience. So in this training, we will cover a bit of Analytics Cloud, not in detail, not too much detail. We have a dedicated training on SAP Analytics Cloud, which you can also take. It's a 40-hour dedicated training only on SSC. That's a separate training we have at anubhavtrainings.com. If you're interested, you can take that. The question comes, Anubhav, what's the difference between SAP DataSphere and SAP Analytics Cloud? This is a very, very important question when it comes to the difference between DataSphere and Analytics Cloud. So SAP, understand very, very careful definition. Both products sometimes may confuse you. They may look same, but they have a clear segregation of responsibilities. So SAP DataSphere, the purpose is very different. Is intended for data store, data governance, data security. So if you want to bring data from different sources and store it together and govern it together centrally, you will use DataSphere. Whereas SAC is just a reporting tool with very limited capability for data governance. Of course, you can use the acquired data model in Analytics Cloud to also store your data, but very limited capability. Very limited capability. SAP DataSphere is built for long-term data storage and centralized data management system. So the long-term goal or the goal of DataSphere is to provide you a large, humongous source of data. It's a data warehouse solution. This humongous source of data is stored inside the DataSphere. That is the goal of this solution. It's a single source of truth for all your data warehouse requirements. Whereas SAP Analytics Cloud is intended to build dashboards and interactive applications used by end users. Used by end users. So when it comes to DataSphere, it is basically if you are looking forward to store data coming from different data sources in your company as a central storage solution, you will go with DataSphere. DataSphere, of course, gives data to different SAP and non-SAP solutions and applications. Analytics Cloud is a consumer of that data. In short, DataSphere is the source of data and Analytics Cloud is the consumer of the data. Both are seamlessly integrated, yet cost you separate subscription fees. They do not come free with each other. Your company have to take conscious decision to take both of them or take one of them. Up to you. Yes, it doesn't come free. Data Warehouse Cloud offers data replication capabilities like ETL capabilities, but Analytics Cloud does not offer such a complex ETL capabilities. So DataSphere offers the capability for ETL and complex replication flows, but SSE do not offer it. So SAP Analytic Cloud do not offer that capability, whereas SAP DataSphere offers the ETL capability or replication flow capability, but SSE do not. You cannot do replication flow. DataSphere offers also advanced modeling choices to choose from and categorization of the data, but SAP Analytics Cloud do not offer the advanced modeling. What you can just do is create a BI model or create a planning model. That's all in Analytics Cloud. But in DataSphere, you can create wide variety of model. You can create analytic model. Yes, different kinds of models you can create for different purposes. And you can also have different categories of data in SAP DataSphere. SAP DataSphere comparatively have high uses volume and usage of memory as compared to SSE. So when it comes to accommodating large volume of data or high volume of data, the solution here is to be used is DataSphere. But as far as Analytics Cloud is concerned, it should be kept with a very minimal memory size. However, if you do not plan to use DataSphere at all in your company, the only choice you want to go with the Analytics Cloud with reporting, then in that case, Analytics Cloud would have also more memory uses. Depends on use case to use case. We can integrate both solutions back and forth, which means Analytics Cloud can write data back to DataSphere and Analytics Cloud can read data also from DataSphere. So both side of connections is possible, back and forth connections is possible between both the solutions. Yes, using DataSphere, we can just preview the data, but we cannot build advanced data insights. Like if you want to use geomaps, you want to use charts, graphs, you want to build R logic, you cannot do that with DataSphere. But Analytics Cloud is predominantly used for data reporting. So you can build different data graphs, charts, different widgets you can use to do the processing. SSE can also be used to do collaborative enterprise planning, CEP. So you cannot use DataSphere for doing planning, but with the help of Analytics Cloud, you can also use planning scenarios like building forecast reports, creating asymmetric reports, different types of reportings you could do with the advanced data modeling. So these are the major differences between DataSphere and Analytics Cloud. Remember, both are separate products. They are not the same products, but they are seamlessly can be integrated in the environment of your company. All right. So this comes to the end of our today's session. I'm done with today's class. I don't want you to give the information for creating your DataSphere account today. I'll do it in the next class, because if you create the trial account today, it will be valid for 60 or 90 days. So we want this account to be active as long as we run this whole course. So I don't want to create the account today. We'll do that in the next episode. Till then, stay tuned, stay connected. Time for your questions if you have before we close today's episode. Please feel free to ask your questions if you have some.
Hi, Anubhav. Good morning. Regarding this data sphere, so we don't have any specialized kind of object. It can integrate all the traditional as well as advanced objects into data sphere,
Yes,
right?
yes. So I will show you using BW Bridge. It will replicate your existing data source object DSO. And if you have a BAX built on top of DSO, that also it will integrate using BW Bridge. It will replicate that.
And will it work on ACC other than S4 HANA?
It will. As I showed you in my diagram, you can see it can also integrate with traditional ECC, BW, BW for HANA, and S for HANA systems. Basically, any system powered by SAP NetWeaver, we can integrate with.
Okay.
Yes.
And how the data can be loaded into the data sphere. For example, we have a BW system or BW for HANA system, and the bridge will be used for only the replication of metadata, right? So the data will be loaded how? I mean, the basis will take care of those things,
No, we
or
only
how
will
it?
do that. And that is something we'll do in the next episode, next class onwards. Once we set up the system, I'll show you how can we load data from different sources. We can also have replicated data source as well as remote data source. I'll show you all of it
Okay.
as part of our training.
So once all replication is done, we can decommission the BW, right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we will also see CDS view, consuming CDS view as a source of data from S4HANA as part of data sphere. We will do that, sir. So you need to allow me for some more classes to proceed so that all these capabilities I will show it to you. I'll not leave any stone unturned. If you, even after the course is to coming towards the end, if you have any questions, you can shoot out at that point of time. So hopefully I will try to bring in that knowledge as well in the class. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. See you in the next class. Goodbye.